Okay, before we start, just wanted to say that we're doing a live show.
Yeah.
It's on the 13th of June at the Pavilion in Reading to celebrate our first birthday. We're going to be showing Who Framed Roger Rabbit and then having a yak about it afterwards.
This information all sounds correct.
Trying to weave it into this sort of Tooniverse and, you know,
I think it's going to be universe. I think it's going to be easy.
Well, it might be.
Yeah, but I mean, the good thing is we're going to hopefully have a load of people sat in front of us, which is going to make it even easier. Out. Yeah, so, for £3 as well.
Yeah, it's £3. It starts at 7 o'clock on the 13th of June at the Pavilion in Reading. Come along, get involved, and also, like, it's going to be an hour show after a sort of 2-hour film.
Yeah.
So you only really stand to lose £1 if we're shit because
we're not going to be
because you know that Who Framed Roger Rabbit is good. So you know that 2 of those £3 are safe.
Yeah, it's going to be totally worth it.
So that's the 13th of June. It's £3. It's at the Pavilion in Reading. Get involved. You can get your tickets at kaiju.fm/live or over the bar at the Nag's Head in Reading, which is opposite the venue.
Yeah, I think people should do it.
Hello and welcome back to the Space Jam Continuum, the show where we try to make a cohesive cinematic universe out of something that was never meant to be one. I'm Chris McLennan.
I'm Carl Noble.
And you've gone back to your small hands. He's done it, ladies and gentlemen.
I've got normal hands.
33 full days of giant latex rubber hands.
It's
you can
insane.
Go and check out his journey over on our Twitter. Just bash in the hashtag 33 days of big hands, 33 the number.
And what a
journey it's been. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel good. My hands have returned to a less prune-like state.
Yeah.
And they smell a lot better.
The patrons of the pub are very happy about it.
I'm sure they are.
They cheered a lot when you took off
that
those
was it.
giant gross hands.
I think they cheered largely because they were happy to see the end of the big hands rather than for the accomplishment.
I think so.
Because a lot of people were like, why are you still wearing those hands? And I was like, I don't know.
So we're going to have a bit of a debrief at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
You wrote a list beforehand of a load of
Before
tasks.
Big Hand.
And whether you predicted they would be better or worse with the big hands.
Yeah.
So we're going to open up that envelope and we're going to have a debrief after the episode's done. So stay tuned for that after the mariachi band plays us out. Stay tuned for the debrief of 33 Days of Big Hands. But right now, let's get into some cartoons.
I think it's a good idea. We've got a good week ahead of us. I am an eager beaver for this one.
Is that a subtle hint at the name of the first episode?
It is! The first episode's got a character called Eager Beaver, and it is The Eager Beaver.
All right, well, let's give it a go. Let's watch The Eager Beaver, starring Eager Beaver, from July 13th, 1946. Let's get in amongst it.
I am eager.
Not a beaver, though.
I'm not a beaver.
Okay, so this was sort of like a PSA, like from some sort of committee of beaver public relations.
Yeah.
To try and show beavers in a really good light.
And I think it did a reasonably good job.
Well, no, I mean, at the start, they were all asleep. Like, it sounds like they're really trying to push for that busy as a beaver thing to remain a phrase, but the beavers are fundamentally really lazy.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been that they were just having a little siesta, but like, as soon as they were awake, they were busy. But by all accounts, they are the best engineers.
Well, I mean...
The guy definitely said that at the start. Beavers, the nature's engineers.
Yeah, but he also said that they were, really hard-working and they were all asleep.
Yeah, that is true.
So, I can't trust anything that man says.
No. It does sound like it was scripted on his behalf.
He's just doing his job, man.
Yeah, he's just reading it out, reading it as written. It was quite an interesting episode, though, because it was looking at the ingenuity of all these different beavers. They don't just go in with their gnashing jaws and take down the trees, but they were trying to take down what seemed to be a whole forest.
Yeah, I mean, they don't seem too concerned for the planet.
No, or the animals that were living in the trees either. So tree got knocked down.
He chopped that dog in half. Who
He
went
did.
to retrieve his bone.
Yeah, but the bird nest that was in that tree that got chopped down, like the birds the eggs fell from the nest, and as they were falling, they hatched, and inside, all the little chicks had parachutes on.
Yeah, do you think that's a precaution taken by the stork agency when they pack babies into eggs?
Yeah, I suppose if you're sending them off to beaver-rich areas,
maybe. Maybe it's like, okay, we've got another bird here. Pop it in an egg. Oh, where's it going? Oh, Colorado. Better give him a parachute.
Yeah, but I mean, all the little chicks could talk when they came out as well. So another thing is because they were falling. Maybe they had their moments inside the egg, and as we discussed, when you are given, when you stress out, you get the tools to deal with that situation.
Do we think they necessarily had to have their moment though? Because obviously they've already existed at the factory that may or may not at the time of being run by Porky Pig and Daffy Duck.
Well, it just depends how stressful that factory environment was.
Yeah, we also don't really know how long they're just sort of milling about.
Or how conscious they are.
Shipped out.
You know.
But then we did decide that they get shipped out to random families if there's no one actively.
Yeah. So they can't be hanging around for long.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose so. But anyway, there's a particularly eager beaver.
There is.
He's not very good.
I think he's called Jack. I heard somebody say, "Hey, Jack."
I think he's called Eager Beaver.
I think he is called Eager Beaver.
Because that's what his postbox says.
That is true. Somebody definitely called him Jack. Maybe it's Jack.
Yeah, but I think that's just like, in the same vein as like, "What's up, Doc?"
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
yeah,
hey, Jack.
Like Bugs Bunny is literally not saying everybody's a doctor.
Because Jack's just sort of common nickname-ish.
Yeah.
Like, it is a
all right,
thing.
mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But Eager Beaver's not very good at chopping down trees.
He's not.
And he's getting in the way. And one of the lumberjack beavers gets annoyed and sends him up a mountain to cut down this massive tree, basically just to get him out the way. So he zips up there, has a hard time trying to chop down the tree. Meanwhile, the beavers are building a dam, and some sort of bird in a hat turns up and warns them in bird language of a flood. Like, it's
he's obviously some sort of messenger bird, isn't he?
Yeah, but my point is, it's interesting that he turns up and just makes bird noises.
And they can understand it.
Yeah, like, this is the first time we've seen it necessary to, like, learn a language.
Yeah, it does seem odd that they don't all... Because we've assumed that they all speak the same language. Like, not necessarily English, but that they all speak the same language and the portal is translating for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, I think in this situation they probably do speak English there. I don't know how much I think the portal's doing, but I just find it odd that this is the first time, because it was definitely a bird with a job. Like,
he had a hat on and everything.
But he just made bird noises. It wasn't even like he turned up speaking Spanish or like a language.
Or even he just had a dodgy accent.
Yeah, or a dodgy accent that's clearly still just Mel Blanc.
Yeah.
It's like, he spoke bird and it gave us subtitles.
Yeah. I did say English translation as well, so they obviously are all speaking English.
So it's like, yeah, that was an interesting. I don't really know what to draw from that, but that's the first time we've had that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the beavers are building a dam, and they're trying to get it finished before the flood comes. The eager beaver tries TNT to blow up the tree. That doesn't work.
No, it just kind of blows a bit of the mountain
then
off.
We get a shot inside his head.
Yeah.
Of like pistons and stuff. And then a light bulb goes on, and he gets out of his pocket a little termite guy.
Yeah.
And he just puts that on the tree, and that gets the job done. So that's another good example of an animal, just having a job because it is that animal.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, does that... Because it was a product. It was marketed as a product. Now, at what point does it stop being a Acme product and start being a tiny Acme slave?
That's a good point. Because, like, is this termite, is it his job, or has he just been packed into this box and shipped out? He was in a little box. Yeah.
We don't know what the furnishings of the box were like. It might have been fine. It might have been nice in there.
Yeah.
I just thought, that might be iffy.
Yeah, it does seem a bit odd, because, I mean, like, you wouldn't say that, like, the goldfish in a bowl in your house has a job.
No.
It's not your slave, but it's definitely not got a job, has it?
No. But this one has a job, but he's just been sold once in a box.
Yeah, I'm thinking slave.
Yeah, so
It's definitely feeling like slave.
yeah. So that was a horrible thought I had.
Yeah.
But also, we saw inside Eager Beaver's head, and he's some sort of automaton.
Yeah, but that would help explain later on how he manages to carry this tree.
Yeah. So the beavers are all using like cranes or like loads of them carrying a log to put it as part of the dam. And there's this foreman sort of trying to get the last tree in place. And the flood follows Eager Beaver down the canyon, and he's just carrying this massive tree.
Huge tree.
Which is, pretty much named as the biggest tree. Yeah. And he's just carrying it. And in the end he gets hurled into the air by the... the tree opens like a parachute, like a cocktail umbrella.
Yeah.
And he can sort of sail up. And then it folds up and he lands in the perfect spot just in time to stop the dam.
Just to finish the dam.
And then everyone's like, yeah, Eager Beaver, and they carry him away.
Yeah.
And then the foreman gives the last few directions to the crane and then has the log just drop on him.
So he just suicides himself.
And I think we know why.
Yeah, because he's just lost his job to Eager Beaver.
He's going to lose his job, because we know the way this works.
Yeah.
He's lost his job to Eager Beaver.
Because Eager Beaver out-damned him.
Yeah, but Eager Beaver's a robot.
I know.
This is automation.
Yeah, machines are taking over,
and it's taking a toll on the on the mental health of at least that foreman beaver.
Yeah,
because he just didn't because it wasn't even like, oh, goodbye, cruel world. It was just like,
bring it in, and go, boomf. Oh God.
Yeah, and that was the end of the episode. So that was harrowing.
Yeah,
yet another episode culminating in a suicide.
It seems very commonplace in the Tooniverse, and it is striking that the machines are starting to or automation is starting to kind of come in and take over jobs.
Yeah, but it's really strange because it's like they might seem like a happy-go-lucky, like wacky bunch, but
they take their lives very seriously.
They take this they take these things hard.
Yeah,
like. It happens a lot. I mean, this must be...
You didn't even see his eye twitch or anything.
Yeah.
There wasn't like oh God, I'm going to have to do this.
No, it was just like, okay then.
Yep,
just resign himself to it. Much like, the Now I've Seen Everything suicides or...
Mind you, I suppose if you've got some unfinished business, you're probably going to come back as a ghost and you could just get a different job.
But do they know that?
I don't know.
Do the living Toons know about the ghost system?
Well, they must have met ghosts... Because ghost is a job.
Yeah, but I don't think they all have met ghosts.
No. But the thing is, it must be...
I think that's got to still be like it is. Some people say they've seen a ghost.
Yeah.
And then you go...
It's not be silly.
Yeah.
It's not a job.
It's like... Ghost's not a job.
Yeah, ghost's not a job, obviously.
So,
a real job.
It's interesting. Because I don't think they do. I don't think they do. I don't think it's common knowledge.
Right.
That, as long as you've got some unfinished business, you can just crack on as a ghost.
Yeah.
But it might be. I hadn't seen it that way.
No.
But this must be the 6th or 7th episode that culminates in a suicide.
Yeah. There's a lot more than I remember as a kid.
Yeah.
As a kid, when we used to watch the cartoons, suicide was never a prominent thing that stood out.
Yeah.
I never went, oh, there's a lot of suicide in them. But now as an adult, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of suicide in them.
Yeah, it's iffy.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to a cartoon starring a character that we know full well isn't going to commit suicide?
It's always a relaxing moment when I see his name.
And that's, I don't know if that says more about about you, but it's a Daffy Duck number.
Yeah.
So we're moving on to The Great Piggy Bank Robbery. It's a Daffy number from July 20th, 1946.
I'm looking forward to it.
I hope it's not our piggy bank.
I hope it's not. We've just started to get some money into that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was like, that's gonna be annoying.
Yeah, I think we can trust Daffy.
Let's check.
Okay.
Okay, how do you want to approach this one? Because it's another dream-heavy one.
Well, it goes a long way to show the mind of Daffy Duck and why he is just so mental.
Why would you say that is?
Well, it starts with him waiting for a comic. right, to be delivered by the postman. And a comic in which he feels the need to hide behind his postbox till it is delivered and then run and keep it secret for some bizarre reason. But his eyes... the way they move around that post is amazing.
Because you were saying something and then you just stopped mid-sentence because those eyes just sort of melted around that pillar. And you're like, oh!
It was amazing. But Daffy runs all the way back to his farm, a farm he's subletting a room in. I don't know. But he's at a farm and he's reading the comic. And what is interesting is Daffy Vision, he seems to have the ability to, I don't know, read an entire book just by opening... some pages and then can view the whole thing.
No, I think he was just reading the end of the Dick Tracy story on those pages.
So
I don't think it was entirely Dick Tracy.
You don't think
comic.
It was a Dick Tracy comic?
I think it was a comic that has like lots of ongoing stories, and he was looking for the Dick Tracy one.
Well, I mean, either way, he ends up knocked out, and
by punching himself.
Yeah. So he's pretending to be Dick Tracy. He's like, I wish I could be Dick Tracy. Throws a punch, swings around, hits himself in the face.
And at that point, we're in dream mode.
Yeah.
So how much detail do you want to go into on Dream World? Because I don't think it's going to be very useful.
I don't think it's very useful, but just like some of the things that go on in that world is what I assume that's how Daffy must see
the real world.
Because also, it goes to explain why he's so mental.
So let's not go through the whole story of it.
No.
But let's go through the touch points. So one thing I found interesting was that when Daffy is in the dream mode and he's Dick Tracy, he's still just an absolute goofball. He doesn't aspire to any of Dick Tracy's qualities.
No.
He wants to be Daffy Duck.
Yeah,
with
Duck Tracy.
Porky
was in there. He was a bus driver.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Porky or... Because I think it's... But then it's a dream.
Yeah, but that's it.
Porky will be the bus driver.
I think that's how... he kind of sees Porky. Porky is, at the moment, so insignificant to him that he's just a bus driver in his dream.
He's just that person who's always there doing something.
Yeah. But then a lot of the bad guys, a lot of the Dick Tracy bad guys that are in there are just insane.
Yeah, but I wonder, if they have touchstones in the real world and Daffy's just massively misunderstood something. Or maybe they're...
Possibly.
They're either things he's taken issue with,
yeah,
made manifest into villains, or there are villains' nicknames.
Yeah,
and he's taken them very literally.
Yes, yeah.
Because there's one that's like a pumpkin-headed thing with machine guns for arms.
Yeah.
There's Neon Noodle,
who's just a he's some
just
sort
a
of
neon sign man.
Yeah, but it's just there's no substance to him. He's just literally some neon lights.
Yeah, there was some sort of rock golem. There was
no, he was a pickle.
Oh, he was a giant pickle.
Yeah, he was a giant gherkin.
The one was
Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes just had dice for eyes.
Yeah, there was Wolfman, who was just a wolf.
He does what it says on the tin. There was Pussycat.
Yeah,
does what it says
just
on the tin.
Just a cat.
There was a Rubber Man.
Yeah. The rubber head.
Who had like a pencil eraser head and came up to Daffy and went,
I'm
going to rub you out.
And he did.
And boy, howdy did he rub him out.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they're insights into the mind of Daffy, but ultimately it's a dream and it's not going to have much effect on the world.
So the case that Duck Tracy is trying to solve is all the piggy banks going missing.
Yeah.
And eventually he finds out that his piggy bank is missing, and then he goes and fights all these bad guys to find them.
Yeah.
Do you think that is some sort of that's where his sanity is stored, in those piggy banks, and it's been stolen by all of these array of bad guys, and this is him, trying to actually find his sanity.
So you think the piggy banks are an allegory for, because it was everyone else's piggy banks getting stolen, don't forget.
Well, yeah, but they were everybody else who was in his brain.
Yeah, that's true.
He was just getting loads of phone calls.
Maybe
going,
they're
my
just
piggy
lots
bank.
of facets of his brain.
Yeah, and he was like, I don't care about your piggy bank. I can't take small cases. And he's realising that as the
one he keeps in the safe in his office is his,
that's the last bastion of his sanity.
That's the last thing the last realisation that actually he's gone insane.
Yeah.
And once that's stolen, he realises and he's going, I've got to sort this out.
So he has to go get it.
Because he does just go and get his.
Hey, he's not bothered about the others.
He leaves all the others.
Yeah, and I think there's bits of his sanity stored in all of those piggy banks, and he just doesn't care. All these people ringing up, he doesn't care.
He just wants the blissful ignorance in that piggy bank.
Yeah.
And then he's hugging the piggy bank and kissing it, and then it cuts back to real life and he's kissing a real pig on the farm.
Yeah.
And then they both do the Daffy laugh and he runs off and then she goes, oh, I love that duck.
Yeah.
So he's not on Porky's farm because there's a pig on it.
Yes. Yeah.
Like in a farmyard.
Yeah.
Well, I hope he's not on Porky's farm because there's a pig there, like in the farm.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's not Porky's farm.
I don't think it is because the post box was for Daffy Duck.
But what he's doing on a farm again, I don't know. But
it's hard. His life is hard.
He's having a hard time. He couldn't get his job back at the studio.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing is that we don't know whether or not that's where he lives or not because he ran a long way from his post box to the farm.
That's true.
So he could have ran from his house to just go, I'm going to go read this on the farm.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I really don't think this one's going to be very helpful, and I think we should probably just move swiftly on. It was good. I enjoyed it. But
yeah, I agree that, but I love Daffy episodes. But moving on.
What we got, Cal? What we got?
We've got Walkie Talkie Hawkie with Foghorn Leghorn.
And Henry.
And Barnyard Dog. Foghorn Leghorn?
We've been looking forward to Foghorn Leghorn. That's why Cal was an eager beaver for this episode.
Foghorn Leghorn.
So, without further ado, let's watch Walkie Talkie Hawkie. It's a Foghorn Leghorn, Henry and Barnyard Dog number from August 31st, 1946. He knew what a chicken was before.
He did. So why is he so confused? Oh, but I mean, that isn't actually that surprising because we have come across this multiple times where, cartoons just can't tell animals apart at all.
Yeah, and also, I think he was sort of blinded by being told, previously he had a hankering for chicken.
Yeah.
His mother was trying to feed him a worm.
Yeah.
This time, his dad had told him that he's a chicken hawk and he eats chicken.
Yes.
Now, throughout the episode, Henry displays some pretty incredible feats of strength.
Oh, he's a strong little chicken, not little chick.
I reckon he only has that might when he thinks he's getting a chicken out of it.
Right. Okay.
So I think it sends him into almost a sort of berserker rage.
Yeah, and he's like, chicken.
Like when someone goes, you're a chicken hawk, and he just goes, chicken!
Yeah.
And he just goes.
And he's off.
And at that point, he can't really, sometimes he can't really control what he's doing. He's in a daze.
Yeah. No, I can see that, because the things that he does...
Whereas I think previously, maybe he hadn't developed that yet. He was quite strong, but that chicken was much smaller in the previous episode.
He was quite strong.
Sorry, there was a previous episode with Henry Hawk called Squawk and Hawk? But that was years ago.
1942.
Yeah. So we have seen Henry before. But,
so this is 4 years later.
Yeah.
He hasn't really grown.
But this time he's dealing with A, a pretty big chicken, but B, he doesn't seem to know it's a chicken. That pretty big chicken, namely Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Foghorn Leghorn is a master of disguise by just going, I'm a horse. And people just go, nope, fair cop.
To be fair, he did the noises, he galloped around.
He did a very good horse impression.
To be fair to Foghorn Leghorn.
That was good.
He was nailing it.
Yeah. Foghorn Leghorn, as, standard, is just a great character. Really sort of...
We also know that Foghorn Leghorn, we don't know yet, what sort of abilities he's going to manifest, but we know he's one of the full-on pantheon of Looney Tunes characters.
Yeah.
We know eventually he's assembled into some sort of super team to play basketball against some aliens.
Yeah.
So there has to be a reason. So I imagine he's a pretty powerful toon. Maybe he is a master of disguise. We just don't know.
But I mean, the thing is, this does say here first appearance of Foghorn Leghorn. Maybe it's not. Maybe we've seen Foghorn Leghorn before. But nobody knows it was Foghorn Leghorn.
If you don't know it's Foghorn Leghorn, is it really an appearance of Foghorn Leghorn?
Exactly. No, it's not. So there we go. So, maybe he is a master of disguise. And that's just how he's pulling the wool over little Henry's face.
Yeah, so basically Henry goes to go and get himself a chicken. Foghorn Leghorn says that he's a horse, and then he points out Barnyard Dog as a chicken.
Yeah.
The episode largely revolves around Foghorn Leghorn helping Henry plan to get the chicken, which is clearly a dog.
Yeah.
They go through various japes. And then when Henry seemingly has got the dog, caught him,
yeah,
the dog's like, what do you want from me, man? Why are you doing these things? And he goes, because you're a chicken and I'm a chicken hawk. And he goes, oh, man, I'm not a chicken. That's a chicken. And at that point, Henry turns on Foghorn Leghorn, who has been tormenting this dog, like, for as long as we...
Yeah, but I mean, the dog started it, though. Foghorn Leghorn was just sat there, quite happily.
Oh, yeah.
And then the dog just came along and whacked a watermelon on his head.
Yeah,
for no reason.
Well, I think it's... He said it's the same thing every day, though, so I think it's a back and forth.
Yeah, I think they're actually buddies.
But, well, yeah, like, so he stands just outside of the range of the dog's leash most of the time, so the dog can't get him. But Henry unscrews the thing the leash is attached to, and they get into a tussle. The tussle takes them into the barn. The horse kicks them out. They shake hands. They go in there, get into a tussle with the horse.
Yeah.
Henry goes in. There's a big tussle, and then Henry drags the horse, the dog, and Foghorn Leghorn out, like, on a rope.
Yeah.
Says, one of these things is a chicken.
Yeah. He still doesn't know.
And then he just presumably drags them back to his house, or tries.
Yeah.
And that's where the episode ends. So we don't know the fate. Well, we don't know the fate of those animals. I mean, the horse never got named, so I'm presuming this time he settled on the horse being the chicken.
Yeah.
Leaving Barnyard Dog and Foghorn Leghorn to
carry on
to bash watermelons over each other's heads.
What I did find interesting was the leash that was on Barnyard Dog was stopping him from getting to Foghorn Leghorn on a regular basis. It was basically choking him. Like, he'd run and he would just stop, like he was attached to some sort of rock.
Yeah.
Now, he could pick up his own house. He could pick up move his own house.
Henry picked up his house, didn't he?
Henry picked up his house while Barnyard Dog was in it. Then Barnyard Dog got out of the house, walked alongside, picked up the house.
Did you say Barnyard Dog?
Maybe I did. We'll have to rewind it and find out. I don't know. So he picks up the house, and there's Henry walking along underneath knockout. So Barnyard Dog is carrying the house. But as soon as he puts it down, that's it. It's like it's the heaviest thing in the world. And he can't move it. Yeah,
stuck. It's just stuck down now.
I don't know whether
Henry Hawk can rip it off the ground.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it's that the dog can't lift it. If it's already been lifted, he can carry it, but he literally can't move it. So it's like an anchor point for his world.
Right. Yeah, because I think we see quite a lot, because quite a lot of the physics of the Toon world seem to revolve around what people identify things as. You know, I mean, it's similar to the gravity rules, right? But, like, in this situation, it's like Henry seems really strong as long as he thinks a chicken's involved.
Yeah, and that's why he could pick up Barnyard Dog.
When it's not on the ground, it's like it's just an object. But when it's on the ground, that's my house. I can't pick up my house.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I can't pick up a house.
Yeah.
So that's it. I think it's a perceived effort.
Yeah, so I think he probably physically could.
Yeah, but because it's his house.
Yeah, he just has. There's a mental barrier.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know how much this particularly feeds into the Tooniverse, but then every time we get new characters, it's entertaining, but it takes a while for them to sort of weave in.
It especially with such a big character like this, because it's trying to find out, right, which powers do they have already, like what's going to manifest, and how is that going to fit in, because they're all different. Like, all their powers are largely different. It's like, okay, so where's that come from and why? And
the only crossover is Henry Hawk with characters we've had before, and he doesn't occur very often.
No,
but he will start to. But I think it's a lot of those things that until a new character interacts with an established part of the world, or a character that we've delved into quite in depth, it becomes iffy. Because that's why we started in 1937 with two main characters. The first time Porky and Daffy were there, because otherwise it's just going to be Porky Pig doing his thing.
Yeah,
we need that crossover to really get to the root of these relationships.
Well, that's it, because otherwise they're just kind of they almost feel like standalone sort of bits. It's kind of like just reading a Spider-Man comic.
It's almost like they're not meant to be a cohesive cinematic universe,
which is ridiculous because they quite obviously are.
Absolutely linked
otherwise, how on earth could we have had so much material to work with?
Exactly. So many of these episodes would have made no sense without the rich context built by, what is now 9 years of good world building.
Yeah, and it weaves together seamlessly.
Absolutely. Okay, so before we move on, luckily Daffy got all those piggybacks back in a dream.
Yeah.
And we can go and have a look in ours.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay, so we make the Space Jam Continuum for free.
Yeah.
Constantly. Without relent.
Yeah.
And, we're going to keep doing that.
All the time.
But there's a lot of upkeep, it needs doing, and it doesn't cost a lot, but any support that you can give us would be very much appreciated. If you can't afford to do it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But please consider coming to the live show if you're in the Reading area.
The live show is a great way to help us out.
We are restructuring the Patreon at the moment, but it will still be the same account, so if you do want to support us there, you can go over to support us at Kaiju. But currently we're reworking all the pledge levels and things. So
the best way to help us at the moment is reviews on iTunes. So we know a lot of people listen through the Apple Store or whatever it is, the podcast bit for Apple, and reviews on there really, really make a big difference, because as soon as we get enough reviews, we become ranked and noticed, and Apple then push it on people, which gets more people listening, which is good.
It's great. It helps our visibility a lot. But yeah, otherwise, just tell people about it.
Yeah.
And also, whatever podcast network you listen on, if it has a review or rating function, please use it.
Just do that.
Because it really helps us out a lot. Otherwise, we're doing the live show on the 13th.
Yeah.
It's £3. We're doing Who Framed Roger Rabbit. We're going to weave that into the Tooniverse, and then you can be part of the show. We're going to do a live show afterwards, and you can give us all your theories and queries, or just tell us we're stupid. Those are all options.
I know, like you can sit in a seat in the pavilion in Reading after having watched the show, and then just call us idiots directly to our faces.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like it if the whole show wasn't just everybody taking it in turn to call us an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, we'd like some sort of back and forth.
Yeah.
But that's an option.
Yeah, we don't guarantee we won't fight back.
No.
So come to that. It's on the 13th of June. It's £3. It's starting at 7 p.m. at the Pavilion in Reading. And then join us for the show and a beer after at the Nag's Head. Tickets are available at kaiju.fm/live or over the bar at the Nag's Head, which is directly opposite the
where
venue.
we're going to be having a beer.
Exactly.
So that's good.
So join us for that. Our promo this week is for Millie Role Players, who have just started a new series. It's their fourth adventure now. It's a live play podcast with a bunch of actors and theatre types from London. They've done, their last season was great.
It was
very
entertaining.
Wild West adventure. This one's a heist adventure, and the first episode is pretty dang good. So I'm pretty hyped for the rest of it. So search on whatever podcast app you use for Merely Role Players, and go and check it out, because it's a really entertaining show.
I think they're going to talk about it in a second, aren't they?
No, I've talked about it already.
Oh, you're not going to bang the advert in?
I could bang the advert in if you want.
Yeah, I think you should.
We'll see what I do.
All right.
If the next thing you hear is an advert for Merely Role Players,
I
banged it in. If the next thing you hear is some piano music, I didn't.
Yeah, well, we'll find out.
Okay, back with bugs.
Yeah, here we are with more cartoons with bugs in them.
It's called Racketeer Rabbit. It sounds like he's in his element, because last time we saw Bugs, he was actually, in at least vague peril.
He was running away from Cosmo, wasn't he?
Like, he had it under control, but, he was definitely not the pranker in that situation. He was the prankee.
Yeah, I mean, he held his own, but he was definitely out of his element for a little while.
Yeah, so the next one's called Racketeer Rabbit. The thumbnail of the video we're watching has...
looks like the scientist is in there.
Yeah, it's like the scientist who got one over on him, or tried to get one over on him last episode. So maybe he's taking some revenge. Let's find out. Let's watch Racketeer Rabbit from the 14th of September, 1946.
Yeah, let's do that.
Every time we come up with a theory,
Yeah,
it's just
proven.
like, yes, that is what's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, go for it.
Right. The way I think this is Bugs is on holiday. He's booked himself into a hotel, and he's come back to the wrong time, I think. And the hotel that he's booked himself into is now closed down, boarded up. But he doesn't care. He walks in, pulls out a giant corkscrew, drills a hole in the floor, and then get access to the soil, and then just descends down into, I'm guessing, his house?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
it seems odd that he's checked himself into a hotel just so he can go and spend time in his house.
Yeah, but I think it must have been for some of the other amenities of the hotel.
Yeah.
Because his house, we saw it, like, in cross-section, it's very modest. It's pretty much just like a bedroom.
Yeah. He doesn't seem to have, like, bathroom or kitchen or anything
he just
like
pops
that.
out.
Yeah, because why would you need any of that stuff if you can just travel anywhere?
Well, that's true, yeah.
Like,
but, so, yeah, he's booked himself into a hotel for a nice getaway.
Yeah.
It's run down, and deserted.
Well, I think he's booked himself into it, and then he's come back in time or forward in time to the wrong date, the wrong booking, and he's just turned up, and it's now dilapidated. Like he's turned up, like, you know, a year late.
Yeah,
and he's just whiffed it. Like he's just what he's like. Well, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, maybe he had a standing reservation at the hotel, like, every year.
Yeah.
And he just come back and
just didn't keep up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we get two mobs kind of pull up, and there's a shootout.
Yeah.
Between the gangsters. One team loses, the other team wins, and then they, you know, divvy. Oh no! Or maybe it was cops and robbers because they did divvy up. I mean, there's essentially two gangs, and then they ended up, you know, divvying up the money, and Bugs took a lot of it.
Yeah, Bugs, with his selection of disguises, just sort of flitted around the table, changing hats and going, "What about me, boss? Hey, what about me, boss? What about me, boss?"
Yeah, and, getting given $1 each time.
He ran out of viable gangster outfits after a while. He definitely had a Native American headdress at one point. That seemed fine. Like, he was given the money. He scoots off with the money, but they cotton on pretty quick.
Yeah,
and,
Rocky wasn't happy about it.
Start holding him at gunpoint. Bugs won't tell him where he's put the money.
No.
So one of the gangsters is sent to take Bugs for a ride.
Yeah, that's Hugo. Hugo gets tasked, and that's the one that we thought looked like the scientist.
The scientist.
From the last one.
Yeah. So he's got to be related.
Yeah, cousin.
Yeah, cousin. Probably closer than that though.
Brother.
Brother. Yeah. Like, it's very similar, but Bugs seemed to know it wasn't the scientist because he didn't seem to have any direct ill will. Although, when he gets sent to take him for a ride, they go off in the car. They're clearly meant to be offing Bugs.
Yeah.
Then Bugs just the next we see, Bugs just returns to the hotel.
Yeah.
And goes, he won't be bothering us no more. Oh. And it's like, so very cold. Very he'd just go, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to kill this dude. Like,
yeah, very, very calculated. But I mean, the thing is he knows the outcome.
Yeah,
he knows the consequences of killing.
Yeah, it's a bit, and doesn't give a shit about them.
Yeah, it's like, well, this isn't gonna matter that much. Bang.
Yeah, so he offs Hugo, and then the rest of the episode is like, well, the guy wants to off Bugs for doing that.
Yes,
but the cops are at the door.
Yeah.
And he says, "I don't let the cops get me." So Bugs forms an elaborate ruse where he puts him in a chest.
Yeah.
And like acts out a whole scene where the cops come in
and proper acted out. Like, he jumps in and out of uniform.
Yeah. Even though the gangster's in a chest
and cannot see,
he's still doing like changing his outfits and stuff, and he acts it out. And in the end, the gangster's like, please just take me away. I don't want to be there with that insane rabbit.
Yeah, because he gets out of the chest after having Bugs go, "Here, hold my watch," and it's a bomb with a timer on it, and he jumps out of the chest. He goes, "Oh, like where'd the cops go?" And Bugs like, "Oh, they're out there. They're heading back."
Yeah,
and he's like, "Okay." He jumps out the window and goes, "Oh, get me away from this crazy rabbit."
Yeah, so that's Bugs' first run-in with the mob directly, I think.
Yeah,
because there are some mobster characters later on with Bugs, aren't they?
Yeah, and called Rocky as well. The ones I remember is like the real short gangster with the big hat,
Yeah,
and then there's the really big gangster who's his like little henchman.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I think I just thought of him as a henchman.
But yeah, the little guy is called Rocky. So he meets another gangster called Rocky.
Okay,
but possibly that Rocky's
maybe
son.
trying to find this one.
Yeah, possibly.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
There wasn't a lot to take away from it. What like my main takeaway from this was the confirmation of the Bugs needs access to soil, and he is now carrying around, or that Bugs is carrying around a drill.
So past a certain point, Bugs realizes that people have cottoned on to his.
Well, I mean, last episode, the last episode he was in, where he was against, where he met Gossamer, he was trapped in the castle because there was stone everywhere. If only he'd had the drill.
Yeah,
could
and
have drilled down
interestingly,
and got out.
And interestingly, he was trapped in that castle, and as you point out, there were no plants anywhere.
No.
There was nothing, and it was in a run-in with a very similar-looking guy this time.
Yeah.
That he was like, "I'm going to be prepared." So, I'm not entirely convinced that Bugs was surprised when the gangsters showed up,
No, possibly not.
and I'm also wondering if Bugs has made an error and does think that little
Guy was the
guy who tried to off him, and he's gone.
Possibly.
It's like, I'll wait for him at that hotel.
Yeah, I'll do him in then.
I'll do him in.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, like if we see that scientist again and we see Bugs with another run, and he might realise his mistake.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Bugs kill for revenge yet.
No.
What if this was before the scientist?
And he was
the
trying to
reason the
stop
scientist
Gossamer
tried to catch Bugs is because he killed his brother.
Oh. Yeah, that is possible.
Ooh.
That is very possible. So it was the revenge on the part of the scientist, not on the behalf of Bugs.
Yeah.
Strange. And he went for an earlier Bugs as well, because the Bugs in the Gossamer cartoon didn't have the drill.
But he wouldn't know.
No, he wouldn't. He's just like, there's that rabbit.
Yeah. Finally.
Yeah,
I'll
gonna
get
you. Interesting.
So yeah, I think because I was thinking I've never seen Bugs kill for revenge before.
No.
But in this situation, I guess it was just get out of being killed.
Yeah, I mean, he could have got out of it in many other ways, but I think because he can see the consequences, he knows that certain people, it doesn't matter if he kills them or not.
But also, if the scientist post this episode killed an earlier Bugs to get revenge for his brother, Bugs, who killed the gangster, never sees the consequences of his actions.
Oh, God.
So he's just going to be like, oh, it's fine.
Oh, God. Oh, we need some sort of diagram.
Because it's just earlier on, someone tried to capture him.
Yeah.
And then he did a thing that to him is unconnected. It's gonna be a confusing. We need a timelines diagram. For Bugs.
We do.
It'll be basically, I think, a scribble.
Yeah,
Just a sort of scribble.
I think it's largely just going to be a scribble.
Yeah.
Because there's Bugs everywhere.
There he is.
By the way, I'm waving my arm about wildly.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. It's great radio, mate.
Thanks. I'm really good at this radio bit. I just acted all out.
I think we're going to leave it there this week because the next one just has a cameo from a character in.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to be a bit of a downer to end on. So I think we'll start up next week with that one.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, please get tickets for the live show.
Yep.
It's fast approaching and it'll be a really fun evening.
Yeah,
that's
3 weeks.
kaiju.fm/live, and that's on the 13th of June. So please do that. Otherwise, we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, we will. And bye.
Bye. Okay, so for those of you who have been following our Twitter feed over the past month or so, Cal has been wearing giant latex hands for 33 days for no adequately explored reason. But he made a list of things that he thought were maybe better or worse with the big hands. And we're just going to have a bit of a debrief now. If you want to see any of these experiments in action, do just check out the hashtag 33 days of big hands. But this is a list, Cal, that you made before doing the experiment. And you've written here whether you think it was going to be better or worse. I just want you to, go into see if you're right, basically, about each of these things.
Sounds good.
So first up, you've put waving and you've put better.
Better.
You're much better?
Yep.
You've put fist bumps. Here you've put better.
Definitely better.
Giving the thumbs up. You've put better here.
It was much better because my thumb was much larger.
Yeah. Shaking hands. You've put better.
Definitely better, yeah, because people were just enamoured by the giant hands.
Podcasting. You've put better.
Worse.
Yeah,
it was worse. It was just awkward moving my mic around.
Writing. You've put better here.
The same. It was pretty much the same as my normal writing.
Because you're not that good at it anyway.
Shocking.
Painting. You've put much better here.
Worse. I mean, finger painting was easier, but any brush painting, much harder.
Typing. You've put obviously better.
Obviously worse. Definitely worse.
Okay. Wrestling. You've put better, and you've underlined it, and you've put an exclamation mark and a smiley face.
It was better.
Boxing. The sport.
Worse.
Boxing items, like putting items into boxes, you've put better.
Worse.
Playing video games, you've put better.
It was worse. It was definitely worse.
Playing guitar, you've put can't get much worse.
And it didn't.
So, would you say it was better?
I'd say it was around about the same.
Operating a till.
Worse. Much worse.
Because you put better here.
Yeah, it was much worse.
Operating heavy plant.
Worse, definitely worse.
Because you've put better again here.
Well, I was very confident, though.
In the margin, you've written big plant, big hands.
Yeah, I thought it would help, but it didn't.
Pouring pints. Better, you've put here.
It was better, actually.
Running, you've put better.
Worse. Much worse. Sweaty.
Climbing, you've put better again.
It was worse.
Whaling.
That was better, actually.
Yeah, you've put better here.
Yeah, able to hold the harpoons better, you see.
Yeah. Chess, you've put better.
Worse, kept knocking the pieces over.
Brewing, you've put better.
It was better because I didn't burn my hands as much.
Buttering toast, you've put butter.
I meant to put better, but it was worse.
Okay. Drinking tea, you've put better here.
Drinking tea is awesome, so better, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what you put for avoiding rot?
I think I put better. It was worse.
You did put better.
It was worse, yeah. Yeah, I definitely got finger rot.
You put dispensing pharmaceuticals here.
It was better, actually.
I'm surprised you got any data on that at all.
Yeah, it is alarming.
That lines up.
Yeah.
Then you clearly got into a bit of a violent mode here. Sword fighting, you've put better.
Worse.
Knife fighting, you've put better.
Much worse.
Gun fighting, you've put better.
It was definitely worse.
Firefighting, you've put better.
That was better.
Protects you from the fire.
Yeah.
No problem
latex.
with like melty.
No, it was perfectly fine.
No problems. You put after firefighting, wooing the ladies, and you put better.
It was worse. It was worse.
It was worse.
Yeah.
I did think that was a strange guess on your part.
I just assumed it would be better because you know what they say about men with big hands. They've got small, sweaty hands inside the latex gloves.
Okay. You put increasing podcast listenership, so it's good to know that you got back to business after the wooing the ladies. You put better.
I think it's better looking at the numbers. It appears to be better.
Okay. Then you sort of get into a lot of like very basic things. Breathing, you put better.
It was harder.
Blinking, better.
Worse.
Just seeing in general, better.
Worse.
Skiing.
Considerably worse, actually.